Welcome to game 2 between Hellpowna and Endill. The score going into this game is 1-0 to Hellpowna because he was using sub-CM Rachi, and sub-CM Rachi can be obnoxious sometimes. It can just set up and snowball and take games, whether legit or not. Sometimes it just snowballs and just does some wild stuff. Endill's team was actually fairly equipped for it. But he just got some bad RNG, and sub-CM Rachi was just being sub-CM Rachi. Yeah, not much to say about it. Not like Endill played particularly poorly or anything. Just it was a rough game. We'll see, can he come back now, or will Endill take it and go through to round 2 of the Magma bracket? So Endill gonna lead camera up to turn 1. Wow, very, very interesting. I was told he uses spicy teams, and yeah, he's not disappointing. He's going to go out to Starmie here, and Endill's going to go out to T-Tar, so thank God again we've got another game with Sand. Endill going to go out to Blissey, and Starmie just going to fire off a Surf. So by that damage, and by the fact that he's using Surf rather than Hydro Pump, we can probably discern that the Starmie is a Rapid Spin Recover set. So Coco going to bring in Camera up here as an initial switch in to Blissey. So I'm just going to stop here for a second. If you don't know ADV, Camera up to, well, first of all, it's E tier. It's not a great mon, despite what Camera up 98 would suggest on Smogun forums, but it's it's more of an answer to things like Gengar and just kind of special threats like Jirachi. It's a very good Jirachi answer. But to see it as an initial switch into Blissey is crazy. We're also seeing that it doesn't have leftovers here because it didn't gain leftovers from the seismic toss damage, I think. Yeah. So could be choice band. I would estimate it's choice band. So we're gonna see Fortress come in. That's a very weird camera up switch in, and that's a very weird result. That would have been a huge Fire Blast if it hit. Coco went for a crazy move there. He Fire Blasted into a special wall, so he was obviously predicting a switch. Endill didn't feel like going to Salamence, so he went to Fortress, which is a very weird move. I don't know if it was a good move, I don't think it was. And he was very lucky that he didn't just get incinerated. So now he's going to make the intelligent switch into Salamence, and Coco is going to go for another Fire Blast. This one whiffs, and that's a pretty horrible stroke of misfortune. Little double miss there. The first one was obviously much more grave for him than the second. So Starmie does come out as a double here into the T-Tar, and it's going to Surf again into the Blissey. So at this point, Endill's probably forced to soft-boiled. The best way to use Blissey is to keep it in high health. Okay, so Coco actually decides to T-Wave, and he gets a nice lucky paralysis. He should definitely switch out here and make use of the fact that there's an obvious soft-boiled incoming. Get in a nice physical threat and start doing some damage. So he goes for Surf again, and you'll see, wow, that was actually an S-toss from Endill. I don't know if I agree with these plays. So now we're going to see how Coco retaliates. He's going to go for Recover, and I presume Blissey's going to go for a soft-boiled. Yeah, this one's going to be a high-octane game, as you can see. So Rapid Spin Recover Starmie. I don't know if Endill's team has a Gengar. It's not shaping up as though it does, so that Starmie might be able to spin whenever it wants, meaning that Fortress might be doomed to never get up spikes. So we're going to see Metagross come in here. I'm actually interested to see how much that S-Toss did. I'm going to go back a turn. How much did that S-Toss do? You can tell a lot from this kind of damage. So it did 28%. Okay, so that's a fairly actually, I don't know my roles on the Metagross. If I was playing the game, I'd calc and check, but I feel like that's a more offensive set. I think defensive sets would take a bit less. I could be wrong. Probably have to calc that. So he Meteor Mashes into Rachi and does 14. Okay, so I don't need to take out the calculator to know this one. Meteor Mash does an awful lot more to Jirachi than 14. 14 is an incredibly low roll. So I would first of all wager that this Metagross is mixed, or at least it just doesn't have a huge amount of attack. More likely mixed. And this Jirachi is defensive. In fact, it's probably max defense. If it had anything less than max defense, even a mixed Metagross Meteor Mash would have done more. 14 is incredibly low. So Metagross now going to double out to the Camerupt, who is a good Jirachi answer. Obviously also can't get burned by Fire Punch. But I don't know how it even forces any kind of momentum here. So it's going to go for a Fire Blast, as you'd imagine. Jirachi does have Protect here, so it's a Protect set. That actually means a lot. Fire Punch, Protect. Could easily be Wish as well. Could be an Asterachi or a Nidorachi, depending on how you on what nomenclature you use for that. But Mence comes in here, and Camerupt is actually blind. This Camerupt should be nicknamed Stevie Wonder, not Stone Cold, because it's completely blind. It's missed 3 in a row now. 85% chance to hit each. Starmie going to come in. And Endill's just going to keep on using the Blissey. So in the Bliss versus Starmie war, I'm pretty sure Starmie actually PP stalls it most of the time, but not with T-Wave. And so they're going to exchange T-Waves here. Both have Natural Cure and both could justifiably switch out here. Depends on what they decide to do. So Endill is going to get this Camerupt back in. He is absolutely mad to get this Camerupt in. Probably not the best T-Wave there as well by Coco on that turn 19. So he gets the Camerupt in on T-Wave. Endill switches out, and now the Starmie comes in. This Starmie is looking like a huge threat to Endill's team. I don't know if I like the fact that Jirachi is a passive Protect set. I think maybe a Wish CM set or something like that, or maybe a CM set of some sorts could be interesting there, because it would actually help versus threats like the Bulky Waters, because right now Endill's team is so weak to Bulky Waters. But again, we're going to see this little war here between Blissey and Starmie that we've seen so many times already, exchanging S-Toss and Surf damage. So Dugtrio comes in early here. This is weird. It definitely won't kill from here. Well, Beat Up probably won't do the job either. So I guess Endill's hoping that it does enough damage. We know Surf from Starmie does what, like 14? Yeah, about 14%. About 14%. So yeah, he needs to get this thing below 14 with this attack. Does he have Beat Up? He does not. If he had Beat Up, he actually would have had nicknames. So he does have nicknames. Well, not the right ones. He goes for Earthquake, and it does 57. It's a lot. And we're going to see a 2021 counter Blissey. But as you can see, Blissey is at 16%, which means that if at any point Endill gets this in on the Starmie, he's going to be able to get this Blissey to recuperate, get his health back, and get back into the game. So Jirachi comes in on this Metagross, and we're going to see 15 and an attack raise. Again, what we discerned earlier was that this Metagross is probably mixed. It could be Impish, which could justify its low attack, but more likely it's a mixed set. And so if you're Endill, you probably just either attack here or go for a Wish. I think I'll probably go for a Wish, but it depends what you want to do. So Coco does go to Camerupt, and Endill does just fire off a Fire Punch here. Completely fine move for Endill to fire off. Very free to go for that Fire Punch. And he doesn't even bother protecting here, even though Jirachi has Protect. He just goes straight to Solomon's. Maybe that was in anticipation of an Earthquake. Not sure. Either way, Snorlax comes in here, and it's called Bass, or Base maybe. Dragon Claw does 46. That means, it does a crit 46, so it means it would have done 23, which means that it's probably modest, or it's probably plus special attack Mence, so maximum speed 299. Let me see how Lax retaliates here. Endill is going to switch out here, and he's going to go to his Fortress, who I don't know if this Fortress has anything for Starmie. We are going to see the Starmie come in. And what I was saying earlier is that Starmie, if there's no Gengar on this side for Endill, Starmie could just Rapid Spin, keep Rapid Spinning off the spikes. but we do. I was going to ask, do we see a hidden power bug? We do. And so hidden power bug will be sufficient for basically, it'll basically just force that Starmie to not get a rapid spin off. And as you can see, it's doing just about enough to the point where the Starmie is forced to recover. The Starmie does have 30 PP, whereas the Fortress only has 22. So the Starmie will win the war barring a crit, although he's definitely, Coco's definitely not going to stay in it and take that risk. So I can imagine he's going to switch out at some point, and he does immediately. And he goes to Metagross, who does eat a hidden power bug for 18%, stab hidden power bug. And so this is further consolidating the theory that we had earlier about Metagross being mixed. Otherwise, you wouldn't bring it out on a Fortress, because normal Metagross that doesn't have hidden power fire sucks versus Fortress. So we're going to see Jirachi come out, who I would assume hardwalls the Metagross well. Not after a crit, but it could be Wish Protect, and if it is, it's going to completely wall this Metagross to hell and back. So Jirachi, Endill does go for another Protect, Coco staying in, hoping that there's no Wish. Although I would probably switch if I was him, because as you can see, there is a Wish, and he actually gets the boom prediction right. That was a very nice boom. Yeah, he kind of predicted the Wish there. So we're going to see Aerodactyl come in on the Snorlax. Aerodactyl, nicknamed My Ashes. And Double Edge comes out. It does actually get the kill. I don't know if that was a high roll or if that was... I don't know my rolls on Snorlax. That Snorlax probably was fairly bulkless, given the fact that Mens did so much with Dragon Claw. But either way, takes 42% from Double Edge. So that Snorlax was probably a fairly offensive variant. Okay, we're going to see the last is Ludicolo. So this is where we basically enter the end game. This is a turn where, I mean, obviously Endill's very favoured to win this game, but this is a turn where you can really test how good the players are, because there's intelligent ways to win this in such a way that you can pretty much always win the game if you play right, or just maximize your odds at least. So what Endill could do is he could Double Edge here and go to Tower on the Rain Dance, or go to Tower after the Rain Dance to bring in Sand. And if Endill predicts him to do that and actually Rain Dances again as Endill goes to T-Tower, he could then go to Blissey, sack that, and then go back into T-Tower. And by that stage, Crunch, which I presume he has, I presume it's a special set, would take out the Ludicolo, and then it would be an Aerodactyl sweep from here on out. Obviously Jirachi would come in, but Tar would force the... Or sorry, obviously Starmie would come in, but Tar would force the Starmie to attack it. So Tar would go down, and then Arrow would sweep. So if Endill decides to Double Edge here, he pretty much always wins the game. But there are other ways to play this. We're going to see how he plays it. Goes to Fortress. Now Fortress will probably, it'll always live a Hydro Pump here. But this way that he's choosing to do it causes him to lose if he gets crit here. So he's actually, Endill's one crit away from potentially losing this game. Well, not really, because he could stall out the Sand turns and then use HP Flying from Arrow, which actually probably kills Ludi from 100. So he's going to go to Fortress here. Yeah, it depends on whether or not he has HP Flying, because I'm pretty sure HP Flying Arrow will actually just sweep from here as well. But either way, we do see the Boom, and Aerodactyl is just going to come in here and finish off with the double Earthquake here, or double Edge, whatever he chooses to do. Both will kill. Camerup's very, his defenses are very weak, so, So Endill's actually scouting for Quick Claw here. That could have easily been Quick Claw. Camerupt, I know H-Clad's a proponent of that set, so that was kind of funny. If he got Boom there, it was significantly tougher for him to win the game, so what he actually did was he switched out predicting Quick Claw, just for maximum security here. And although I think Tar would be the best play if you were going to do that. Don't know why I went Blissey. I would have gone Tar to do that, because if Starmie came in on the double, then you could actually finish it off and force it to attack you and still win the game. But we're going to see the Double Edge come out here, and that is the game. Yeah. So there was obviously a lot of very fortunate RNG there on the side of Endill. The Fire Blast very early on. gives Coco something to be indignant about. But nonetheless, I think the jankiness of Coco's team and the lack of synergy is probably the result of his downfall. Either way, that was a great game too. I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed it much more than the first. The first was a bit of a mess. Hopefully Game 3 presents a game just as good as this or better. I'd be happy with either. And we'll see you all then.